Today I am in the home of the lovely Doreen Gove. Thank you, Doreen, for letting us in your home to be a part of our This is Glendale program. And we're going to, we're going to hit on a lot of highlights, but primarily we're going to discuss a fantastic travel log that Bob and Doreen did through the Himalayas. But first I want to acknowledge the fact that Doreen, you brought about the Glendale Heritage Preservation, didn't you? Had you not spearheaded that occurrence?
It came about because the telephone company had torn down a house on Sharon Road, and Mr. Carruthers, who was the mayor at that time, was very unhappy about this situation, and took the telephone company to court.
Oh.
And very interestingly, when they came up, the judge says, "Oh my goodness, this is a mouse barking at an elephant." A lot of people were interested in preserving what was there.
Exactly, yeah.
And in Glendale. As a matter of fact, my next door neighbor behind me knew that I came from New England and was interested in history. He said, "Well, if I get people together, would you come and talk to them about what they did in Ipswich?"
Okay.
And that's how we started. It was a meeting. They said, "Well, the way you should go about it is you get people together, you get all the history of the local houses, and you take one particular thing to emphasize." And we all chose the police station.
Oh, okay.
And that was the first building that we got on the National Register.
Okay.
And from there, we worked to doing a historic district, and we eventually, about 1974, I think it was, by sending in all their requirements of 20 pictures of houses or buildings, for the National Register, and we got listed.
That's terrific, yeah.
The following year, we were very fortunate after people came out from the government and looked over Glendale and happened to come on the day that it snowed. And everybody was coasting on the hills of
Gunny Hill?
Gunny Hill.
Oh, fabulous.
And unbelievably, we got to be a national landmark, which is one of the highest. As a matter of fact, I think at the time we were the first historic village that was.
That was landmarked?
That was landmarked.
That's fabulous. Well, thank you so much for all of your efforts. Glendale would not be as beautifully preserved had it not been for the people first being angry, but you're following through with it all and getting it done. So we appreciate that a lot.
Well, it takes a lot of people because we had a lot of volunteers in order to get all these photographs and information on all the buildings.
Oh, yes. It's like a PhD dissertation practically to get everything done. But I also want to talk about, and just hit on quickly, that you and Bob, your late husband, were involved with judging roses, and I gather that's a significant thing. I apologize, I am totally ignorant of it, so you'll have to fill me in on the importance of it.
We take a course,
okay,
which actually is virtually takes about 2 years because it's spaced out, and then you presumably are able to be a competent judge of people's roses.
Roses, okay.
they are single roses usually.
Okay. I gather you had roses here at one point, but now they're all up in Massachusetts?
We once had 300 roses here.
See, that preceded my being here, so I was...
And, but after Bob retired, we weren't here in the summer, so we moved a couple of them, not many,
Right.
to New England, and eventually I have only maybe 50, including big ones and little ones and climbers.
Right. Oh, okay. Right. Well, shifting gears from roses, let's go back to discussing your travels. I know you're a world traveler, and you made notes during your travels. You sent letters for some travels to your mom, especially when you did the world tour when you were young, early college days, I guess. And we're going to show some stills of those.
Only part of college days, because the interesting thing was that my mother called me in college one day. It was in March in my sophomore year, and she said, "Well, would you like to go to Scotland and visit the family, or would you like 2 more years of college?" So my choice was immediately, yes, I would like to go to Scotland, as my mother was born in Scotland and didn't come over till she was about 16. So I had heard her talk a lot about Scotland.
And then from Scotland, though, you did sort of the grand tour to Paris and London.
Yes, I went with Cook's, which was the travel agents at that time.
Cook's Tours, yes.
And I went to London, Paris. Paris was interesting because I got to the hotel, and very interestingly, with 2 Indian ladies, the guide took me into the hotel, and he said, "Your tour doesn't arrive for 3 days." And I was left in Paris for 3 days all by myself.
Oh, yourself. But
And nobody spoke English.
and these Indian women, they helped you?
No.
No?
They just rode in the car with me.
Oh, just rode in the... Oh, that was it. That was the extent.
But they had jewels on their forehead.
Right, yeah.
They were very dressed up for the occasion.
Just beautiful, beautiful clothing, yes. Well, I am so impressed that you were successful in traveling alone. I read some of the letters that you wrote to your mother while you were gone, and throughout the whole trip. And you did mention, and this is something that I think is hysterical, when you were in Paris, you went to the theater. And
Yes,
it was
I did.
not a traditional theater, I would gather. What theater was it?
Well, I went to, that's what the guide that told me that we were going to go to the theater. And we were ushered in, and I was put in an armchair. That's what we had.
Right.
In the front row. And the people came on
stage.
and on stage. And lo and behold, most of them were not dressed, hardly at all. I had never seen anything like this in my life, which was right.
It was shocking, but it was obviously beautiful, though, wasn't it? Aren't the costumes
It was beautiful.
amazing?
A lot of it was done with sheeting in front, and the people silhouettes behind.
Oh,
And also there were women beautifully clad in dresses, and it was the folie bergère.
Right. I love it. I bet your mother, when she found out about
Oh!
your father more so than your mother, I would bet. Right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Be shocked.
Right. Doreen, this has been delightful. I could sit here and talk to you for hours, but we must close. However, with the tease that I did bring up, that you and Bob, among many travels, did go over the Himalayan Pass, and that is something that I want to come back and talk with you about. Are you game for another interview if we can get this done?
Oh, I'd love to tell you about the trip. Oh, the
Okay.
Conjurad Pass.
Right. Well, we will do that. We will do that another time. So, this has been lovely. Are you ready to say goodbye? We're gonna do our thing. You ready? Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Doreen, for being a part of this.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
This is lovely, and we're going to say it together. Ready? This is Glendale. Thank you so much for watching.